Car sales at AutoNation are looking up. The company beating the street with a 19% jump in revenue in the first quarter. Let's break down that quarter and where we're going. MikeMaroone is the president and chief operating officer for AutoNation. Mike, some good numbers. You're up 19%, but what is selling?
Brian, we saw growth across all segments and across all regions of the business. So we saw especially strong growth in the import segment, specifically Nissan and Honda, with Toyota recovering nicely in the third month of the quarter. We also saw strength in the domestic segment, with Ford being our star at up 36%, and General Motors also delivering a strong performance.
Mike, it's Dagan McDowell. Good to see you. Edmunds came out with an estimate that more than 22% of sales in March were with 0% financing. What are you seeing on that front in terms of your sales, and how long can that last?
Well, I think 0% is a very strong hook for consumers. In the case of Toyota, who's leading the way, they're really financing. I believe they finance 71% of their retail deals. So I think it is sustainable. I think it's a good incentive, but it's not the only incentive that works.
Yeah, well, what's not selling? Chrysler?
Chrysler had a difficult quarter at retail, but the rest of the business, we saw revenue growth in every segment, every manufacturer. Our revenue was up 19% on a low-cost base that delivered 55% increase in EPS on an adjusted basis. So it's a very good quarter for the company, a very good quarter for the industry, and it really speaks to recovery in automotive retail.
People, we always worry about supplies, too much supply, Mike, but is there any area, I'm thinking SUVs and pickup trucks maybe, where there's a lack of supply and too much demand?
The inventories are very well balanced today. We finished the quarter with a 50-day supply. Within that, there's always some products that are shorter. The crossover vehicles, the CUVs, are in short supply across all manufacturers, but it's not dangerously short. For the first time in memory, the industry seems to be producing vehicles that customers want in steady quantities. There's a good cadence to production, and it's leaving us with a really good feeling. We've got very little 09 inventory, only 2% of our inventory. So there's not acute shortages. There's certainly some products that are shorter than others, but it's a very healthy sign for the industry.
And can we put to bed the idea that credit is not available? Are your buyers as a group able to get the loans they need to buy cars?
Brian, the two segments, the prime and near prime segments, are almost fully recovered. The securitization market's in good shape. I would say the subprime sector is at a slower level of recovery, although it's getting a little bit better. So in general, we can get people financed. It's not as liberal as it once was, but it's so much healthier than a year ago, and it's one of the prime drivers of the revenue increases and the recovery in the industry.
Mike, all the rage are these electric cars. Do you think people are actually going to buy them when we see a good number of them on lots starting later this year?
I think it really depends on the price point. I think that there will be a certain level of buyer that will come in that will be interested at almost any price, but it's really going to get down to affordability. So I think you could predict that it'll be, over the next couple of years, 1% to 2% of sales. I don't think it'll be a dominant percent of sales until the cost comes way down, or if we see some real change in oil prices.
MikeMaroone, President and Chief Operating Officer at AutoNation. Mike, thank you for joining us. Good luck at this quarter. We'll see you again.
Thanks for having me.
All right.